Right, shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
First and foremost, we like to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh,
Hashem,
Bahashem,
Yahushai,
Bahashem, Kakodash. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, which means He to be, He exists, He exists in one. Bahashem is in the name, Yahushai is His only begotten Savior, Son, who the Word of God calls Lord and Jesus Christ. These are the powers that we serve, these are the powers that we come in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakodash, Barakah. Yahushai means He, the He Savior. Right, who the willing and calls Lord and Jesus Christ. Right, yeah, we have a couple of members, we have a few members of GMS Trinidad campaign with another lesson. We pray it's going to be edifying to the body. Right, that we simulcasting because we only brother what do you say it? Nakamaya, his speech and alongside with Yeremia. Right, quick lesson here. We're setting up on, as I said, 2 platforms. So let's have a little patience with us if we find that we're delaying a little bit. Actually, lesson is entitled, E. Capital E is a mongrel, right? The first precept we're going to get is Zechariah chapter 9 and 6. Yeah, go ahead. Zechariah 9 and 6.
Okay. The book of Zechariah, chapter 9 and verse 6, it says, And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines.
And we've got all the pride of the Philistines. Alright. When you read it in the other versions, it reads, for example, NLT, it says like foreigners will occupy the city of Ashdod. So when you look up Ashdod, I don't know, you know what you could try and do? You could try and pull it up here on this side. So you understand here? Look up Ashdod. Type in Ashdod. Alright. As I said, bear with us a little bit. We're trying to simulcast on 2 different devices. Alright.
Ashdod. Is this
Select it. I'm over here. What you're gonna do is come here. Share. See? So you can read in here and you can scroll up and up. Right.
So they will be seeing it as well.
Yeah.
Right. Ashdod, the 6th largest city in Israel.
Right. You can also hit images and you get like a map.
Images. So you see Ashdod is where in the coast of Israel, Judea, Bethlehem, Jerusalem, it's in Jericho, Gaza, Hebron, bordering all these. So it's a land in Israel, Palestine.
Right. It's a land in Palestine, right? So it says CSV, a mongrel people lived in Ashdod. NIV, a mongrel people will occupy in Ashdod, and will put an end to the pride of the Philistines, right? CSV, a mongrel people will live, ESV, a mixed people shall dwell in Ashdod. And we know the scripture says there's no, what you can do is, end the share, right? You say stop sharing here, and it'll come back to us, right? So you can, anything you want to look up, you can look up on this page, but they'll come back here to share.
To share,
Yeah. Or you can leave it up as well. And you can leave it up for you all. Right. And you can put so you can look it up the same way. I'll be able to say again, okay, Salakia. Where's the absent? Absent too.
Mm.
Right, so again, the calculations. Alright, so you can control that screen.
Right.
Right, so Salakia, as I said, we do not on two, so let's be a little patient with us. Right, yeah, I myself was even sharing the screen here. So let me do that too. Right, so Zechariah 9 and 6. Again, the pastor shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. Right, so the Ashdod, modern day Ashdod would be where?
Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv, right? Tel Aviv. Right, that's put it into the map that we have just seen. Alright. Cool. Alright. So lucky about that. Okay. So some notifications here. Wow. The adversary does really come on here, yeah?
Grand.
Yeah. So we're gonna get into it, right? That bastard, right? In the language, it comes across as a mongrel. So we look up the word mongrel.
Period. Verse in
Yeah, you go ahead.
the NIV. It says a mongrel people will occupy Ashdod.
A mongrel people. All right. So the present day people in the land is who? It's these small hats. Well, you wouldn't have this video here. I want to present this video here. What I could do is try and send you the video.
Yeah.
If sending the video, nobody wouldn't get it up there. They wouldn't get it up there.
Okay,
That's
maybe
it.
you send it to your Ram, yeah?
You can get it up there.
I have a WhatsApp joined to this.
All right, let's see if I can do that. It's in the Bible study chat.
So you can pull up your WhatsApp. Really fascinating.
So I'm gonna share. We're gonna watch our video here real quick.
Can't really argue that the Goyim are going to be annihilated. That's not really an option for all the Nevuahs, all the prophecies. And not only Goyim as individuals, you can say can't really argue that the Goyim are going to be annihilated. That's not really an option for all the Nevuahs, all the prophecies. And not only Goyim as individuals, you can say that we broke down their nationality, the Yechidim running around. No, as nations even, as Goyim, the God, their personality.
You go right there, right? All right, Chan. Yeah, I think we should mute it. And I'm going to talk slow so we can read what is being said because you know everything is going to be used against us, as they say, right? So they say so we have the small hatter. Well, yeah, we're not big hatter, but he's a small hatter. He's saying you can't really argue that the Goyim are going to be annihilated, right? That's really an option for all Nabuis, right? So we look up that word Nabui. That's the one. We could be with Nabui, right? It says define Nabuis as he would have had it. It said Nabuis is not a standard English word, but it likely refers to Nabu, the Babylonian god of writing, wisdom, and scribes, or possibly a misspelling of Anubis, the jackal-headed Egyptian god of the afterlife, or even the surname Nabuis, meaning someone from or related to Nablus, right? Someone of or related to Nablus, right? So we went down to that meaning Nabuis or Nablus, a place referred to in Palestine, the city of Nablus, or people/products like cheese from there as Nablus cheese, right? So it's a people he's talking about. So coming back to the video here, you see the small hat again, really it's not an option for all Nabuis, meaning people who are relating to Palestine, right? It says the prophecies are, sorry, let me just put it back a little bit. All the prophecies, and not only the Goyim as individuals could say that they are all, sorry, so I can move it kind of fast here. It said individuals could say that we broke down their nationalities and they're all a bunch of Yechidim running around, right? So we look up the word Yechidim as well. Share this tab instead. I more or less will speak it for the next camera. So the meaning of Yechidim, which is Yechidm, right? Yechidim, individuals/solitary ones in the Talmud, right? Yechidim refers to individuals. Individuals performing special fasts, or generally lone individuals, sometimes meaning those acting alone, uniquely only one from the root Yachid or Yakad in the Hebrew, right? In the Paleo Hebrew is Yakad, means one, right? Unique or beloved.
Akkad.
Yeah, to what Shema Yashara Yahweh Akkad. Yeah, to the Shemai, yeah, Akkad. You know, so like yeah, slipping the tongue there. Mystical/spiritual, right? But basically it goes back into one, right? So they're speaking about the Palestinians and the heathen nations, right? They are speaking as though they are the true Israelites, and they are not, right? Which we just read. We started off in Zephaniah chapter 9 verse 6, right? A bastard shall dwell. But now this bastard is pointing out the other nations, especially the surrounding nations, because this whole thing started off with basically not this whole thing actually, but you have seen since 1498 they have been waging a war on their neighbors in Palestine, right? They have been waging war with their neighbors in Palestine, and they call themselves the true Jews, and the people in Palestine as they see them as Goyim, right?
They forge a whole Balfour Declaration, claiming that they have rights to that land, and so which was a lie. They say they had great joy, they didn't have a deal with the land. Ezekiel 36, videos 5. But Joel, may read in the book of Joel 3. Can you read that real quick, Joel 3?
Yes. That's black.
Screen?
Then screen.
Straight up. Push it up. Straight up. No. Push it, right. Head here. All right. Put it back there. Right, look at him. All right, go ahead. Yeah, what you were saying, Vishnu?
It was black, it wasn't showing. Right, no, it's not showing.
No problem.
So,
Yellow?
no, Ezekiel, Joel 3 and 1. Shower.
So, mm-hmm.
We can read it. Let's read it. This is Joel 3 and 1. Okay, but
We look at Joel chapter 3 and verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among nations and parted my land.
it's the part of the Lord land. And the Lord land is parted between who? The Palestinians, which is the Arabs, and them Israeli. So it's two people from two different nations, which Arabs go back to mix. They're a mixed nation, right? Them Palestinians and them dwelling in the land, also Israeli, and they are unalive in them. And the reason why they are at war with them and unalive in them, they're trying to run them out of the land, and they're claiming them people to be Amalekites. The Palestinians, they're claiming that they are Amalekites, which is Amalekites is Edom, which they are Amalekites.
Yeah, Saul was supposed to kill the king of the Amalekites,
Mhm.
Amalekites, and he didn't.
He didn't.
Samuel had us go and hack him up.
Right, and that is how through that scene is where that escapes in Edom. When Joab was in the land, unaliving all the male child in Edom. Right, that was a part cut off of the nation. If you kill all the males, there's no one to put that
So
line.
for the line to come true.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that will like what the Lord said when He comes, He gonna cut off root and branch. Meaning that they're gonna have no cousins, no nephews, no nobody to come up, because that what happened back then. Right, one escaped. Right,
Mm-hmm.
one was I think he gets snuck out and he escaped, and then he popped back up later down in the time of Esther.
Mm-hmm.
Right, we can get that account, Esther 8 and 17. And in every province and in every city, wheresoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness and a feast and a good day. Right? And many of the people of the land became Jews, for the fear of Jews fell upon them. Right? So because why? You had the wicked seed, Haman was an Edomite. He had in the story of Esther, he had his desire on becoming on eradicating Israel, because Mordecai didn't bow down and worship him, right? When he was glorified. What happened? What ended up happening is that we have a national feast day called Purim, right? Purim came out of that, right? Because the Lord, through having Esther's identity being an Israelite hidden, she became the queen instead of Vashti, right? And because of the decree Haman set up would have destroyed her, which was she was beloved of the king, right? Artaxerxes at the time, and the judgment that he had prepared for Mordecai, as in Haman had for Mordecai, it fell upon Haman and his sons, right? And he and his sons were eradicated. Right, but we had a feast, they come out of it. So it said a feast and had a good time, and many of the people of the land became Jews. So when you go into that word became Jews, right, I know Shane on the screen here. When you go into that land, that word became Jews, it says Yahad, right?
Strong's H 3054. Yahad.
To become a Jew, in fact, or in fraud, become Judaized, right? Become Judaized. Strong's definition, dominative, a form corresponding to H3061 Judaized, that has become Jewish, become Jews. You can't become Jew, right? Genius Hebrew Chaldees, to make oneself a Jew, to embrace Jewish religion. The word yad, right, which is the noun is a servile, becomes a radical as from and form, and from this, it's saying two words there. in instances a kind of risky to become a Jew, more or less, right? To make a Jew,
So that's
right?
just like
A convert,
a convert, like picking up our practices,
right?
right? Just like how when we, right, read Psalms 106. It's 106? Yeah, Psalms 106 and 30. We mingle ourselves among the heathens.
Mm-hmm.
When we mingle ourselves among the heathens, we start living like the heathens, adopting their lifestyle, right? Psalms 106 and 30. 34 says they did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them, but will mingle among the heathen and learn their works. And they serve their idols, which were a snare unto them. Yea, they sacrifice their sons and their daughters unto devils. Right? So you see, when we mingle, we serve among them, we start learning their ways, their customs. Right? Start even speaking their language. So that is why we were called heathen.
Mm-hmm.
So if they were practicing Judaism, they will be called that. That is really to become a Jew. Because when you read it verbatim in the scripture we now read, we go back to it. It just tell you when you read it, Esther 8 and 17, and every province and every city wheresoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness, and the feast and a good day, and many of the people of the land became Jews, for the fears of the Jews fell upon them. So you see, it's just mentioned Jews, Jews, Jews. You have to go into the word, as you reason, to be studious, go into the word, right? That's how we understand it's a fraud. That Jew, they become a Jew, is fraud. They claim to be Jews there. That's what's happening right now in the land. I had some research here to bring out also in the time of Alexander, time of Shalmaneser. Go back to even to that time when there are split in the nation of Israel. Right? You got in Second Kings 17, right? When the Samaritans, the true Samaritans, which was the 10 tribes, they were carried away into captivity by the Assyrian king Shalmaneser, the fifth, and Kutians was placed in the land. Right? And it says, now look up Kutians, it says, these, right, it says in AI overview, in his work Antiquities of the Jews, Flavius Josephus uses the term Kutians or Kotiwai, Kuthim, as the name of the people known in a Greek as the Samaritans. So that is like saying a Greek former saying Samaria, so Samaritan. It says this name derives from the supposed geographic origin and serves as a point of distinction for Judeans, right? It says origin. Josephus writes that the Kutians were a nation from the inner parts of Persia and Media, whom the Assyrian king Shalmaneser brought to Samaria after deporting the 10 tribes of Israel. The name Kutian comes from the region called Kutha, which had a river of the same name. Right, that river is in Persia. Right, it says, according to Josephus, these 5 nations of people which brought their own gods and worshipped them in the essential custom which angered the Most High, they were afflicted by a plague described as lion attacks in 2 Kings 17. So this is the reason why they were being killed in that land, because they were serving idols. Right? It says, and an oracle told them to worship the greatest power to find relief. Consequently, they sent for Israelite priests from among the Assyrian captives to teach them the laws and holy worship of power. So they said they had to go to the greatest God. Who's the greatest God? Yahweh Hashem Eshai, the God of the Israelites. They had to turn to his custom and laws and do it in the land, that the plague may stop. It says, which sees the plague. So after that, they did that. They bring a priest to teach them the customs of the Israelites. That is when the plague ceased. It says, relation with the Jews. Josephus emphasizes the foreign origin of the Samaritans, Cutians, to assert their non-Judean identity. He notes their opportunistic relation with the Jews. When the Jews were in prosperity, the Cutians would claim alliance and kinship. So when things going good with Israel, like when Alexander gave them Alexandria as that is all their land, or they take that. When the priest, when he dreamt the priest, all right, Lord tap him and gave him a dream about the priest seeing them in their clothes, and they explained to him, hey, you is this one in Daniel. Right? I believe Daniel 8, the first king of Grecia, you is that king. So they show him. And he see you really dream these same men in that same clothes. So he get them land and thing, get them gifts as thing, right? When everybody thinking that Alexander was going to kill them. Right? But the Lord tell the high priest and them to no fear. Right? And they explain, you are that king, and things went into their favor. So now, when things went in their favor, these Cutians came to Alexander asking for land and thing as well, because things was going good for Israel, as we know, right? It says, the Cutians would claim alliance and kinship, but when they were in a low condition, they would deny any relation and declare themselves to be foreigners who came from other countries. See that? So when things not going good with them, they know we's not kings, we's not of that people, we are not of that line. We come to that country. You see? So you can convert and do the same lifestyle and we call that, but it's under fraud. That is what happening here. They come and claiming to be Israelites under fraud, and the same thing that they did in the time of Esther, and the same thing they're doing now. Right? When we read Revelation 2, you can read that Revelation 2 and 9, which was going back to the Israelites, but we pinpointed at them today, right? Skillfully added.
Revelation 2 and 9, it says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty.
Talking to the Israelites, you know your works, you know your poverty, right?
But thou art rich.
Thou art rich. What make us rich? This knowledge, this understanding, this truth. Right?
I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
So you have people claiming to be Jews and are not, like we said you see here in Esther. All right? What we see happening in the land. We started off with mongrels. Mongrels.
I think that's a bring definition.
Yeah. Mongrels claiming to be the people in the land right now.
The word mongrel. I should probably. Right, so the word mongrel. Just a normal search. It says a dog, no definable type breed. She's particularly intelligent mongrel with a lot of cooling in her. Right, so word similar meaning is crossbreed, a breed, half-breed or hybrid. And what's opposite in meaning, which is an antonym, right? Antonym is pedigree, so she's not a pedigree, right? So you get an example of that in the book of Exodus chapter 1 and 18. Exodus chapter 1 and verse 18, it says, is it Exodus? Numbers 1 and 18. So that Numbers 1 and 18. So they are watching me and shine.
Probably Bible here.
Let's go back. Oh, hit plus. Put blue letter. We have to create some short letter. Right, look at it. Let's go on this. All right. Not be up, sorry. Let's go on here. On this one here. Come on here. Quick. No. Let's go quick. Quick now. Right, ready. Quick now. right? Numbers 1. Right, so Numbers 1 chapter 1 verse 18. So like, yeah. And they assembled the whole community of Israel. Sorry, this is the let me put this back in the KJV. Right, Numbers 1 and 18. It says, and they assembled in all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upwards by their posts. Right, we have the example also in I think is in Nehemiah when they can find the records of certain of them and they did not allow them.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you can pull up that example. I'll get pedigrees here in Numbers. It says Yalad.
Strong's H3205. Yalad. Yalad.
Right, it says and there's a root word to born. To this is this transition come beget, bear, born, bring forth, bear, travail, midwife, child, delivered, born, birth, labor, brought up, miscellaneous. Right, so you get the idea. It's to be born. Right, you're born of, you come birth of somebody is stuck of. Right. Strong's definition, primitive root to bear young, where the young come from the seed of man, right? To beget, medically, to act as a midwife, specifically to show lineage, to bear, to show lineage, right? To declare pedigrees, to be son of, right? Have woman in or one that travaileth, right? But be the son of, okay? So like didn't realize I was sharing it, right? To bear the pedigree, Strong's definition, to bear young, to beget, to show lineage, to bear, to bring forth, to bring up, calf, child, to be delivered as a child, to time of delivery, to gender, to hatch, to labor, to do office of a midwife, to declare pedigrees, be the son of, right? So let's go back to where it is, Mongrel, yeah.
You want to do your thing, I mean, man?
Yeah, Neymar.
Nehemiah. Nehemiah 7 and 60, so that's 60, 61. It says, and these were they which went up also from Telmelah, Telharesha, Churab, Adon, and Ima, but they could not shew their father's house, nor their seed, whether they were of Israel. See, they couldn't chop their line.
Right, so in the NKJV, it says, and these were the ones that came up from Telmelah, Telharash, Shah, Cherub, Adon, and Emma, but they could not identify their father's house nor their lineage. Right, NLT couldn't prove that they were families or were descendants of Israel. That they belong to Israel, lineage. EMP says what? But they had no birth records and could not prove their father's house or their descent, whether they were of Israel. ESV, they could not show their father's house nor their seed, whether they were Israel. Right? So none of these small hats could do that because they were actually converts. Right? Long and short of the story, they were converts. See something here. Let's go to the John Hyrcanus now. So we ask AI, John Hyrcanus II, Antipater, relation and conversion to Jews, right? Let's see if I can get this and I can just send it to you and make sure to this or this. So like, yeah, what did I just do? Right. Send this to you. mean, I'll just pull out the bubble shot. Right, so back at it here. You get it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah. Pull it up and see what's showing.
On the screen.
Yeah.
Alright, come. The finance it's small? And I hear, share one?
Mongrel.
Oh yeah, the share this instead. Share this tab instead. Okay. Alright. And if it's small, you go hit the three dots. Hit the three dots. You see where you see 100, you can carry it up there. Come down. You see 100%? 100% plus. Carry it up, it'll get bigger. So you'll see bigger on the screen. Right? Okay, let's touch it right. It says John Hyrcanus II and Antipater relation and conversion to Jews. The relationship between John Hyrcanus II and Antipater the Idumean was one of dependency and political manipulation during a period of civil war and Roman expansion in the 1st century BCE Judea. Relationship between John Hyrcanus II and Antipater, political partnership. Antipater was an Idumean who served as a chief advisor of the strategist to Slacking. Let me read it over again. Antipater was an Idumean who served as chief advisor and strategist to John Hyrcanus II. He supported Hyrcanus II against his more ambitious brother Aristobulus II, believing that Hyrcanus's passive nature would make it easier for Antipater to exercise real power in Judea. Right? It says Roman influence. Antipater helped Hyrcanus II secure support from the Romans, specifically Pompey the Great and later Julius Caesar. Through his alliance, Hyrcanus II was restored to high priesthood and named Ethnarch, while Antipater was appointed procurator administrator of Judea by Caesar in 1447 BC. Right? So let's get the Ethnarch here really quick. Ethnarch. It says an ethnarch, Greek, a ruler governor of a specific ethnic group, nation, or province, deriving from Greek words nation, ethnos, and ruler, archon. This title was used historically, especially in Roman and Byzantine empires, for leaders governing a distinct people or territory, like Simon Maccabeus as head of the Jewish Commonwealth or ruler of the rulers in Roman Egypt, and appears in the Bible for officials governing specific groups, such as the Ethnarch of Damascus, mentioned in 2 Corinthians, the 11th chapter and the 32nd verse. Right? Coming back to it, it says dynastic foundation. This relationship, so like my computer center freeze. That's because battery is getting low. Yeah. Yeah, we're trying to hurry up. It says so to get to the point here. That dynastic foundation, this relationship allowed Antipater family to rise to power. Eventually appointed his sons Herod the Great and Fazil to key governorship, effectively sidelining the Hasmonean dynasty and paving the way for the Herodian dynasty. Conversion of Idumeans to Judaism. John Hyrcanus, the first predecessor, the conversion of Idumeans, which Idumea goes back to Edom, right? Check that out in Isaiah 34 and 5. right? Idumea is etymology means Edom, right? Antipater's ancestors was actually initiated by John Hyrcanus I, the grandfather of Hyrcanus II, around 125 and 110 BC. Forced conversion after conquering Idumea, Hyrcanus the first gave the population a choice: exile or conversion to Judaism. So you see, so these people were Judaized, right? They were converted to Judaism, which included the requirement of circumcision for all men. Historical significance of, this was the first record instance of forced conversion perpetrated by Jewish ruler that effectively integrated the Idumeans into the Jewish nation, which is why Antipater and his son Herod were considered Jews by religion despite of their Idumean ethnic origins. See? All right, so we're going to close with one precept here real quick. This is Isaiah chapter 26. Isaiah 26 and 10. It says, let favor be shewed to the wicked, yet, I'm waiting here. Salawam. It says, it's 10. It says, let favor be shewed to the wicked, and yet he will not learn righteousness. Let me say real quick. Yet he will not learn righteousness in the land of uprightness, which is the land of Israel. He will deal unjustly and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. Right? This is what we see happening across there now. Yeah. Word that rhymes with side. That starts with
Jen.
Yeah. Whose auntie is Jenny. Right? And verse 11, the Lord, when thy hand is lifted up, they will not see, but they shall see and be ashamed for their envy at the people, yea, by the fire of thine enemy shall devour them.
I want to read one real quick to Matthew.
Just go to quick now if you get it faster. Quick now.
Matthew, I believe that is what 13 where he separating the sheep from the goat.
Okay. Let's see, 11 tears. We're going to 36. Then Yahushua sent the multitude away and went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. He answered and said unto them, he that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man, and the field is the world, and the good seed are the children of the kingdom,
which is the Israelites.
God. But the tares are the children of the wicked one. The enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels.
So the devil is the deceiver who's sharing the tares among the wheat. The tares and wheat, they look alike. You can't tell the difference if you look at a tear and a wheat. They look the same. And that is what happened in the time of slavery. When the wicked line starts sleeping with a woman, right? Confusing the seed, confusing how it looks. Right? Not the seed because the father is who the father is. But they started looking like Israelites. So that is what he said when you read up earlier on. It said that the enemy had done this. Right? Where is?
Say a calamity, a false accuser, a slanderer. Right? This is for the devil. Apply to man who, by opposing the cause of God, may be said to act the part of a devil or side with him.
It says verse 29. So that 27. So the servants of the household came and said unto him, Sir, does not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then had it tares? And he said unto them, an enemy had done this.
An enemy. So he says the enemy. A calamity. It means to make a false or defamatory statements about foes who calumniating him in the press. I said that what he saw doing is a false accuser, the accuser of thy brethren, and he claimed to be the Israelites when he's not. He's actually a convert and one who Judaized.
A tear.
Right? But the reapers, the angels, they're gonna come.
They're
They're
gonna
gonna
come
come and separate the wheat from the tares.
Yeah, because they're looking alike. They have Israelites looking like Edom, and then they have Edomites
That
looking
look
like
like
Israelites. So we can't tell the difference. That's like we can't tell the difference with the tear and the wheat. We can't tell the difference who's Jake and who's no. You can say it's spirit bearing witness. But you can't look at somebody and say, well, that is Israel, right? So let's say, judge not according to appearance, but judge righteous judgment. So the angel go and come and silver them out.
Yeah. Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 2. And the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, and the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and the fear of the Lord, and shall make him a quick understanding in the fear of the Lord, and he shall not judge after sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears, but with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth, and he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips, and he shall slay the wicked. This is Yahushua. Right? So the wicked here Rasha, the guilty one. Who's the Idumean?
Yeah, Malachi 1:4. Call them the board of wickedness, and we now see, scripture now see, the wicked one. The tears is the line and the seed of the wicked one, which are the Edomites. Yeah, so God's gonna separate them and judge them. You see, when you read the end of the parable, you see he's gonna gather the wheat into his barn, which is the chariots, and he's gonna burn up the tares.
Is the judgment that is prepared for you? Isaiah 34 and 5. Right, Isaiah 35. For my sword shall be beat up on Edom. My sword shall be beaten in heaven. Sorry, behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, upon the people of my curse to judgment. Idumea here, Edom. Edom.
Strong's H123. Edom.
Red. Edom. And they come back again to the spread. Edom, Idumea, descendants of Esau. Right? So really and truly, these converts that in the land that call themselves who's, right? You could come back to this here. All right, like this guy here on the screen, right? Y'all are Edomites and y'all are gonna be judged. All right, they can wear black. How much you want? All right, guess what? You the true goyim. So the judgment that they're judging for the Israelites is gonna fall back on your own head. The pit and the snare and the trap that you set for Israel is going to come back on you. Because why? Because you're wicked overall and you're set up for that destruction. That's right. All right, so we're going to close out. With that, we give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh.
It was edifying. If not informative, shalom to the
Shalom to the